Review. I'm Chad. He's Matt. This is brought to you by RealNerdCorp.com. Stay tuned to the end of the show to hear me say that again. Here's how we do things in the GameCorp Retro Review. We have 5 categories: graphics, sound, gameplay, fun factor, and challenge. We score everything out of 5. 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. We can't go lower than 1, we can't go higher than 5. The perfect score a game can get is a 25 out of 25. The lowest score a game can get is 5 out of 25. With all that being said, Matt, we are reviewing the NES version of the Ninja Turtles arcade game. So start us off with graphics.
For graphics on this one, based on the limitations of the NES itself, you can't do as much as the arcade version. But that being said, for what they were able to pull off here, I do find it rather impressive. I think what also helps this game a lot is the addition of certain levels to give it just a slight bit more variety and style all its own. So I can't really fault it in the graphics department. Everything else works fine. Animations, all that kind of stuff's pretty good here. So I'm gonna honestly stick in a solid score for, granted, for NES limitation. Let's just keep that in mind. It's gonna be a 4. For music, I mean, as long as you got the TMNT theme here, you're golden, and it has it here, and it has some pretty decent tracks outside of that too. So again, it kind of rides that another 4 out on that one for me. Gameplay, this is a based on the fact that you can't. This isn't an arcade. This is an arcade, but it has that mentality of the limited lives approach. You can't just spam lives to do this, so you have to be very, very careful with what you're doing. And in that sense, it's a little bit more of a struggle in trying to beat it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work on a fundamental level. So I'm going to give it an average score in this case. Based on all that, I'm going to give it a 3. Fun factor also kind of plays in that same idea here with the gameplay and everything, is that this is fun to a point, but based on the limitations and how you have to be very careful here, the amount of time you'll have to enjoy it will be very much limited because you might not be able to get very far. And that being said, I don't think it's bad though. Honestly, I think again I'm sticking with average. Average seems to be my theme here, so it's going to be a 3 again. Challenge, it can be hard to a point, but I don't think it's hard enough. It's so hard you can't beat it. I think you just have to have a lot of patience here, and I think it's worth beating, especially with the different things you get to see here as opposed to the our original arcade. So I think it's a solid 3 in that as well.
So for me, usually we abide by a simple rule on this show. We grade it off of the technology at the time. The only problem with this instance is we just reviewed the arcade version last week, and that was great. This is not. Just because it's on the NES isn't going to give it a break for me, so I'm giving it a 3. If you can't do it as well as the original, don't port it. Sound, same issue. It's clickety, it's clackety, it's Nintendo audio. It makes you sound like a gerbil fucking a toaster iron. 3. For gameplay, this was definitely a game designed to be played with a joystick and or modern controls, not a NES D-pad. 2. Fun factor, I had none. Still better than some games, though. 2. As far as challenge goes, the only challenge I had was trying to figure out how long to play this game before I can give up on it. 2. So with all that being said, that gives us a final score of 14.5. If I did my math right. Divide that by 25, that gives you a 58%. Just misses the recommendation. Be sure to tune in next week for another edition of the GameCorp Retro Review. I've been Chad. He's been Matt. You can find us on the website at RealNerdCorp.com. Watch all of our other videos and stuff because, hey, what else are you going to do? Work? I don't know. Probably not. Have a good one.